Nintendo's 1988 video game Super Mario Bros. 2 sold over 7 million copies. I always enjoyed playing as Luigi, but unfortunately for Luigi, I was never very good. For me, and lots of other young squidlings, Super Mario Bros. 2 was sort of a purgatory simulator. Luigi is produced, dies violently, and is produced again. In the unlikely event I ever manage to beat the game, there are still 7 million copies out there churning out doomed Luigis. But Luigi isn't just the better half of the Mario Brothers. Luigi is also the name of a package for the Python programming language. Just like the Mario brother, Python's Luigi is handy with pipes. Luigi helps make data pipelines, which transform dirty data out in the wild into cleanly, domesticated data we can work with. Luigi does this using a collection of instructions we give him. We tell him to do one task, and that task tells him to do other tasks, and those tasks tell him to do more tasks, until he finally finds the beginning and starts there. Luigi's tasks might take him months, or just a few seconds. For convenience's sake, when a Luigi is finished, we don't want him cluttering up the place. So instead of letting him live free, we make a virtual computer and summon Luigi inside it. When a Luigi's done, poof, the virtual computer is gone, and so is he. Need Luigi again? Clone a fresh one. Every day, companies around the globe summon Luigis into containers and disintegrate them. At some companies, this happens every hour. But don't worry for these Luigis. These Luigis exist for this purpose, and we get to personify them however we like. I say these Luigis are like Meeseeks from Rick and Morty, summoned eager to please and equally eager to leave.
Mr. Meeseeks, open Jerry's stupid mayonnaise jar.
Yes, sirree!
The Meeseeks fulfills the request.
All done!
Wow! And then it stops existing.
Oh my god, he exploded!
Trust me, they're fine with it. Knock yourselves out.
The Python package Luigi has no emotions of its own, so we feel emotions for it. We might as well let these Luigis enjoy themselves. Why not? Well, it's often more entertaining to make fictional characters struggle. Nintendo's Luigi is also cloned over and over again, usually to fail in combat, and we like it that way. So let's talk about The Prestige. Spoilers ahead. The Prestige is a 2006 movie about two stage magicians in competition. One magician, Al, has a trick where he appears to teleport across the stage, and the other magician, Rob, is driven half mad trying to replicate it. At first, Rob just hires a look-alike to appear on stage, but that's not good enough. Rob hires Nikola Tesla to build a teleportation machine, but it doesn't quite work. It doesn't move this hat, it makes a copy of the hat somewhere else. Against Tesla's guidance, Rob uses the machine to teleport in his magic act. Every show, he copies himself, drowns himself, and lets his copy bask in the applause. He does this tons of times, never knowing whether he'll perceive himself to be the one who gets the credit or the one who drowns. But the drowning kind of pays off, because Rob gets to frame Al for his death. No one can explain how the peculiar trick works, so Al is on the hook and he hangs for murder, even while the supposed murder victim is alive and well. But surprise, Al pops up and shoots Rob. It turns out there was never just one Al. Al was secretly a pair of identical twins the whole time, making their version of the teleportation trick seamless and perfect. There are a lot of good ways to interpret this movie, like questioning how far an artist can or should dedicate themselves to their craft. After all, the dying Rob says drowning those copies of himself was worth it because the audience enjoyed the trick. But I don't think that's his whole motivation. Think about it. Rob killed like 100 clones to copy a trick which was trivial for Al because Al had one clone. Why didn't Rob make one Tesla copy of himself and do the lookalike routine with him? Why drown a new one every time? As a tribute to his dead wife? That's pretty metal, I guess. To frame Al for murder? That seems like the plan, doesn't it? I'm sure both those motivations played a role, but overall, they're just excuses. The reason Rob drowned his copies is the same reason he stole the trick from Al to begin with. Not for the audience, but for the spotlight. When Rob hired a lookalike, he was dissatisfied because the lookalike got the credit. Even when that lookalike is literally himself, Rob can't handle sharing the stage. He'd rather drown. Why didn't Al have this problem with his twin? They never got jealous of each other, because they switched roles every show. Rob could have made one copy and shared the glory with literally himself, but instead he chose to drown literally himself. Maybe his hubris kept Rob from realizing that sharing the glory was even an option. Rob claims he did this for the audience, but that just doesn't explain getting all broody and vengeful. Rob could have astounded his audience with just one clone and no drowning. But would that really be a story? Rob was doomed by being a fictional character. Like Nintendo's Luigi, Rob is created and destroyed for the amusement of an audience. Rob is just wrong about which audience his sacrifices really entertained. Since Python's Luigi isn't a fictional character, but kind of a mascot I just made up, we'd might as well let him be a jovial sprite instead of a digital prisoner. Unless dark humor is what we're looking for in a mascot, in which case this Luigi is doomed too. As per usual, I'm bringing up pop culture and data science to make some pretentious cosmic observation about our everyday lives. Wherever your body came from, you didn't ask for it, but it's here, so there must be a you here too. We're not fictional characters quite like Rob and Nintendo's Luigi. We're more like mascots for machine learning algorithms, kinda like Python's Luigi. So, that Luigi's existence is as dark or light as we want it to be, and so is ours. We project emotions onto all of those Luigis, and onto us. We are like radio antennae for consciousness, feeling for all kinds of things, not least of all ourselves. Or maybe I'm thinking about it too much. That's all I do here at Thinkster. I think we make fictional characters so they can feel things through us, and manifest novel emotions in us. There are only so many emotions to go around, and positive emotions don't make for great stories. Personification is how things exist, and it's also why so many things seem to exist doomed. If that sounds cool to you, subscribe. And consider dooming yourself alongside these squidlings and elder squids supporting me on Patreon. I also just finished that story on ted-rights.com about that ultra-marathon runner who has to race a horse to keep his legs. Bye-bye for now, and if you want to see me again, just rewind the video. I'm trapped here forever.